wolves are. Oh yeah, I think I'm lazy too. There, that one has 3.
They're cranky, the lights. Sometimes this one doesn't come on. Sometimes that one doesn't come on. Sometimes it's really an interesting. Which is why Dawn comes over and she seems to know how to wiggle this just right to get them to do what they need to do. So that's scary.
Divine.
That's it.
Divine protection. That's how we're going with it.
Well, it is officially fall. And that means we shift. Energetically, we shift here in the Northern Hemisphere to the energy, Ayurvedically, is called Vata. And Vata is connected to ether and air. It's a season of dryness and of movement, right? The wind, the leaves are falling. We see that in nature. And so we balance that. The yoga, the asana, everything that we do here is intended to balance everything that goes on out there. So what happens during this season is the practice slows down a little bit. And there's less flowing, and there's more static postures. So we focus more on the strength building. We focus a little more on the breath work. I know. So if y'all see a block come flying, it's Wendy. Just putting that out there. Wait, there are no blocks, so they can't come flying today.
She told us we were doing core strengthening.
I said we're gonna have to do a little bit of core strengthening. No, we're not. Tonight we're really gonna focus on the standing postures and the balancing postures, which is why I gave you all straps to help with the balancing, because there's so much movement going on, right? Outside, there's so much movement actually happening right now in the earth, right? This is the last season of harvest. This is the last big push for the animals. Everybody's gathering, and it's our time for that balance to become still, to work that strength, to work the breath more deeply, to start the heat building breath a little bit more. So it becomes a more static practice to balance that. That focus is going to be more on that stability, more on the strengthening, the balance of things as we move into winter. So find your seat, close your eyes, and soften your shoulders. Draw the navel in. And come down to the sits bones and focus on the pressing down of the sit bones into the earth. And even though we don't feel it, right, the earth is moving. And even though the body is as still as we can make it, there is still movement taking place with every breath, every inhalation and exhalation. There's movement happening in the body. The cells are constantly regenerating. The blood is constantly flowing. So even though we are as still as we can possibly be, movement continues to happen at all times. And as we quiet the body, so often the mind begins to move even more. And appreciate that. Appreciate the fact that the mind is moving, it's doing its job, what it's supposed to do. But then ask it, invite it to become a little bit quieter, a little bit more still. And shifting your awareness now to your breath, and simply taking note of the breath in this moment. To deepen the inhale and lengthen the exhale. And take a deeper breath in and a slower breath out. We're going to shift that breath just a little bit. Take your hand and place it about 6 inches in front of your face, in front of your mouth. So you're going to take a deep breath in and open your mouth and exhale like you're fogging up a mirror. So visualize your hand as a mirror in front of you. You're fogging it up. So you want to hear that sound as you push the breath out. You gently constrict the back of the throat. So breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. We're going to do one more time just like that. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Now place that hand down. We're going to shift the breath now in and out through the nose, but with the same constriction on the back of the throat. We call this the Ujjayi breath. So you inhale deeply and you exhale deeply and you start to hear your own breath. It makes a sound, and you might hear your neighbor breathe, inhaling and exhaling. If you're not really sure what it should sound like, I know y'all have seen Star Wars. Children call this the Darth Vader breath. Right, so that immediately tells you, right? Gives you a little bit more, right? You hear that. You hear your own audible breath in the back of the throat by constricting it. And what this is doing is when you set that breath out onto the palm, you felt the warmth. Well, now we're keeping that warmth in as we start to shift from the warm days of summer to the cooler days of fall. We start to utilize the breath to heat the body a little bit more. So we're going to take 2 more breaths in this breath. In through the nose, out through the nose, in through the nose, and out through the nose. As you open your eyes, we're going to come to stand. So we're going to get right into it today. We're going to stand anywhere on your mat. Doesn't matter where you're happy to stand. We're going to find the mountain pose. We're going to find Tadasana. So we're going to take the time to find this posture. Your feet are parallel to one another, and their hips width distance apart. So really focus right now on anchoring down. Right? So lift all 10 toes. Right? And press into your big toenails. And draw an imaginary line to the outer edges of your heels. So you're pressing big toenails, outer edges of the heels. Now press into the little toenails without losing that pressing into the big toenails. And draw that line to the inner edges of the heels. So what we've done is draw an imaginary X underneath the feet. And it intersects right at the arches. So there's a lift there. And we start to realize, while we need our toes for balance, we don't actually need them to stand. Right? We can stand stable with our toes. And then gently place the toes down. So we want to make that effort as we move through the balancing postures to really focus on the 4 corners of the feet pressing down and keep the toes soft. And lengthening up, pressing down into the feet, lengthening up through the legs. There's a micro bend in the knees, just the tiniest little bend to support the capsules of the knees. Gently spiral the thighs in. So just a little, just that little squeeze. We're going to draw the lower pit of the abdomen in and up. So you get that lift, that Mula Bandha, right? Kegels, ladies, Kegels. Gentlemen can also do the Kegels. It's very interesting to explain that, but they can. Right, but when we do that, the rib cage lifts a little bit, right? It tries to drop. So we're going to draw the rib cage just in a little bit, just gently knit the ribs. Now we've engaged in the core, not only the front line of the core runs all the way around. So simply by focusing on that and getting that center of the body focused, it starts to strengthen the back as well. So we're fully engaged here. Lengthen. Feel as if there's just a gentle string coming up through the side bodies. Let the shoulders relax down. Palms can be forward or the fingertips can place down. It is what's comfortable for you. And bring that chin parallel to the earth. And close the eyes. And really focus on pressing into the earth. Feel this pressing down, this lengthening, this lifting up, and this release, this connection through the crown of the head to the divine. And stand here with purpose for just a few more breaths. Attention to your heart space. So let yourself drop right down into your heart. And in this space, call up something that you'd like to let go of. Something that is in your life that is no longer serving. Maybe it's a thought process. Maybe there's someone that needs to be relinquished and let go. Maybe it's something, some way of being. Because this is the season, this is the time where Mother Nature shows us really how easy and how beautiful biggest thing you want to let go of in your life? Now see what your life looks like without it. And take a deep breath in. And open the mouth and exhale to send it out. Relinquish it all and let it go. It's gone. You don't need it. Take another moment here and see your life without this. This space, this joy that you've now made room for. And trust that it is so. And now as you open your eyes, travel your way to the top of your mat. Come into the nice standing pose. And your knees can go.
Matter which.
Well, we're going to move through the sun salutation, so whichever direction you want to be in. I don't know.
I figured the wall would be support.
There you go. There you go.
Something happens.
There
We
you
don't have
go.
anything to throw.
We are preparing in the room for support. I love it. As you inhale, take your hands overhead, let your palms touch. And as you exhale, bring them down in prayer in front of the heart. We're just going to work the breath a little bit. Inhale, take the hands back up overhead. Exhale, big wide circles to bring the arms down beside the body. Spin those palms away. Inhale, hands come up overhead. Exhale to the heart. Inhale, take them up overhead. Exhale, big wide circle. One more time, just like that. Inhale, they come up overhead. Exhale to the heart. Inhale, bring them back up. Exhale, release them down beside the body, coming into Tadasana Mountain Pose. Realigning your mountain and take a moment to refind it. Okay? And just really feel that pressing down to the four corners of the feet, slight bend to the knees, the navel in, the shoulders back, the head lifted. Bring your hands onto your hips now. We're going to take the right foot and step it way back, coming high to the toes and high to the ball mounds. So we're going to keep that heel lifted. So a standing lunge, we're coming into the crescent lunge. Bend into this left knee. Shoulders are over the hips. Right, so the tailbone draws down, and you can stay right here with your hands on your hips. If you'd like to work the breath a little bit more, build a little bit more heat, you can take the hands overhead and come into Ujjayi breath here, that breath we did just a few moments ago, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, but constricting the back of the throat. So we find this balance and focus on the feet, pressing down, right? The belly drawing in, the lifting up. Take one more breath. Exhale. And as you inhale, step back forward into mountain. Take the left foot and step it back, finding that crescent on this side. Remember, the feet are on railroad tracks, so we want them open. We want some space, bending into that right knee, right, pressing down into the feet, the navel up and in, maybe the hands overhead. Breath, deep breath in. Exhale it out. In through the nose and out through the nose. We'll do that one more time on each side. So hands on the hips. Help stabilize me. You don't have to go there. Take that right foot, step it ways back. That right heel is lifted, bending into this left knee. Inhale, step forward to mountain. And exhale. Step that left foot back. Finding your crescent on this side. Finding that stability. 3 nice deep breaths. As you inhale, step to mountain. And exhale. Deep breath in. And a slow breath out. We're going to stay facing the top of the mat. Take that right foot and you're going to step it ways back. But this time you're going to bring that foot flat. You're going to bring the heel in and the toes out. Setting up for warrior one and bending into that right knee. So we're still facing the top of the mat, but this time your back heel is planted and you're pressing into the pinky toe side of that right foot. Maybe the hands overhead. Maybe they stay on the hips. Maybe bring the hands in prayer. Right? Lots of options here for what's going to work. As you inhale, step to mountain. And exhale there. Stepping that left foot ways back, heels in, toes out, about a 45-degree angle. Bend into that right knee. The hips are squared off, somewhat squared off towards the top of the mat. They can be open a little bit. So we're not back bending today through this, so we're not too worried about supporting the back in a back bend. So if the hips are a little cattywampus, that's absolutely fine. And then find your stability and take some nice, long, slow, deep breaths, building a little heat. Inhaling to mountain. And exhale. One more deep breath in. Slow breath out. Right where you are, bend your knees just a bit. Send the hips back. You want to be able to look down and see the big toes. Draw that tailbone down. Lift the heart. Take the hands up overhead. Utkatasana chair. It's like you're sitting on a high bar stool. I know you both know how to do that.
I'm thinking it's last call.
There you go, right? We got last call happening here. I love it. Right? And breathe here. Really press down into the feet. The thighs are starting to fire up. They're maybe even shaking a little bit. That's okay. That's just the lactic acid moving through the muscles, moving out. Take one more breath. And as you exhale, stand all the way up into mountain. Breath in and breath out. As you inhale, bend your knees, sink your hips, take your hands overhead, come into chair. Breathe. Unclench those teeth. I'm going to challenge you a tiny bit. Right? Shift your weight into your left foot. Pick up your right foot and step it back and plant it into warrior one. Yeah, there you go. Listen. Inhale, back to chair. Exhale to mountain. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. One more deep breath in. Slower exhale. All right, now we do have another side. Bend the knees, sink the hips, chair. Find that, get stable there. We're in no hurry. Shift the weight into the right. Step that left foot ways back into the warrior one. Nice. Inhale back to chair. Exhale to mountain. Beautiful. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. One more big breath in. turn and face the side of your mat, whichever side you would like to face, and step out nice and wide. So you're going to give the knees a little break, but you're going to pick up the toes that are closest to the top of, let's do this together. Pick up your right toes and pivot that a quarter of a turn. Pivot your right foot a quarter of a turn. If I say the top of the mat, Vicky's going to go there, Wendy's going to go there. We're going to be on all opposite sides. And then Wendy's going to get all jacked up because she's looking at Vicky and doesn't know what to do, and I'm the complete opposite. So we're just going to do the right. And you're going to bend. No, you're not. We're not going to bend into that right knee because we're giving that knee a break. You're going to take your arms out parallel. Okay? And like a teapot. Remember the song when you were little, I'm a little teapot?
Mm-hmm.
Right? You're going to lean over the right toes. Lean out, lean out, lean out, and reach. And place that right hand down onto your shin. And take this left hand up towards the ceiling. Now, I'm looking at my knee locking sisters. And I call them my knee locking sisters because I do it too. Same thing. First thing we want to do is lock out this knee for support. Put a slight bend in it. You're going to feel your psoas and your thighs fire up. You're all right. And just breathe here. Right, so it's lengthening the side bodies. And eventually, someday, that hands will get a little lower. And it might even today. Mine's not. Not on this side. We're going to take one more breath. Right. As you inhale, come back up. Arms parallel. Exhale. Pick up those right toes and pivot them a quarter of a turn. Big deep breath in. Inhale. Exhale the left toes. Pivot a quarter of a turn. Nice. So reach out over the left toes, bumping the right hip back. So really get length as if you really could reach that wall in front of you. Breathing that left hand down, right arm up. Nice. A little bend in that knee to protect the capsule of the knee. And clearly we all got the memo because we are all in black today. Which is a very rare thing for me. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, relax the arms for a minute. Pick up those left toes, pivot them a little bit. Right? Wiggle it out for just a moment. It's a lot on the feet. Right? Notice how the toes feel. Are you gripping in your toes? If you're really feeling this in your toes, you're gripping the toes. I'm going to tell you what happens as a result of gripping the toes. Shins are going to hurt later. I learned that the hard way. Right? And that's why when we started the mountain, it's lift the toes and soften and really learn to focus on pressing down into the four corners of the feet. Because when we grip the toes, we fire up everything up front. And we don't need to accept imbalance. So we're going to pick up those right toes and pivot them again. When we reach the arms out parallel, this time we're going to do reverse warrior. So rather than lean forward, you're going to flip that right palm up. And you're going to reach it up towards the ceiling. Take this left hand back and down. So focus on the right side of your body as if you could push your mat out from underneath you with your right toes. So you get nice and long there. And then reach through these fingertips up and back. Now, the weight back here should be nice and light. And I'm not going to lie to you. I will cheat every time. I will lean. So I come into what's called a half bind. I just wrap my arm behind me to take away that urge to cheat. Because I'm the laziest yogi you will ever meet. If there's a way to cheat, I know it. So take one more breath. Nice. Inhale back to center. And as you exhale, pick up those right toes and pivot them. Pick up those left toes, pivot them. Right, so same thing, that reverse triangle on the other side. Spin the left palm. Just take it straight up. Let the right hands come back. Okay, so there's not a big shifting that happens with this one on the hips. I find a little bit. I can bump just a tiny little bit and keep lengthening, but I'm shifting now the hips forward, right, the opposite direction. Take one more breath. Draw that navel in because the guts want to spill out. Inhale, back to center. Relax the arms. Exhale, pick up those toes, pivot them a quarter of a turn. A little more focus on the toes. They feel a little bit better. It's interesting, right? It's such a tiny, tiny thing. Right. We're going to stay standing. So this is also about foundation, right? We're moving the foundation ever so slightly through the toes, but we're keeping the legs at about the same, right? And that's some of that counter to the vata, right? There's so much. It's ether, it's air, it's all in this upper triangle as well of chakras, so that the practice itself really focuses on this stability and this strong, stable foundation. So when you have that stable foundation, when it's the same in balance, when you come into balancing, we do all this crazy wobbling to get ourselves back in balance, but all we need to do is focus on the foundation to come back into it. So we're going to come into Warrior Two now this time. Arms out parallel, pick up those right toes, pivot them a quarter of a turn, bend into that right knee. And this knee wants to track itself in towards the big toe, so you want to track it towards the pinky toe. That's going to start to fire up that psoas. Let's start to open the hips here. The fingertips are in line with the shoulders. So look forward, look on both sides and see. There's always one arm that goes, there's always one that, First time I think I did my warrior two, I think I was like this, and I thought, oh, I'm wonderful. The teacher came by and went, okay, let's bring that there, and let's bring that one back up there. Okay, and then we look out over that middle finger of the front right hand. And we just find this stability, right? Pressing down, draw the navel in, soften the shoulders, and take one more big deep breath in. Exhale, straighten that leg, release the arms. We'll give them a break, pick up those toes, pivot them. Okay, so warrior two on the other side. Okay, arms out parallel, bend into that knee, reach it towards the pinky toe side. So you want to get this feeling of the feet. And if you look down, your alignment is either heel to heel or heel to arch, whichever works best for you. And then the arms come out, and you get this feeling of pressing the mat away. Right, as if you could tear your mat away. The shoulders are over the hips, and you look out over those left middle fingers and take 2 more breaths. Draw the belly in. Fingertips are in it. Biceps and triceps are engaged. Take 1 more breath. Exhale, release the arms, straighten the leg, pick up those toes, pivot them a quarter of a turn, take a moment, take a deep breath in. And a slow breath out. You can do a little modified shoulder opener, take the hands, lace the fingers behind the low back, reach the knuckles down and let the belly and the chest go ahead and reach forward. And shift your gaze up, put a slight bend in your knees, and as you inhale, just reach back. You're going to reach back, you're going to find the point where the body says, that's it for me. And then draw the shoulders way back. So really focus on lifting the heart here and take 2 breaths. And with your inhale, bring your chin to your chest and come to center. And as you exhale, start to hinge at the waist and fold forward. Let the hands rest right on the low back, right on the booty. Slight bend in those knees and stop at the halfway point. And then let the arms come down and let them just dangle for a moment. So just let them dangle and hang heavy here for a moment. And then bring your hands up onto your thighs just above your knees and lift up just a little bit more, just a little more than the halfway. Take a deep breath in and exhale. And inhale, come all the way up. And exhale. Right toes pivot, quarter of a turn. We're coming back to the warrior two, kind of, sort of. So you're going to bend into that right knee. You're going to find that stance. We're going to reach the arms out. We're going to find the reverse warrior or exalted warrior. So the right palm spins up. Now for this, you're going to reach forward like we did for the triangle. So you're creating some length and some space here. And then as you exhale, you're going to take that hand up. This back left hand is going to rest on the back thigh. And again, if the urge to drop into it and lean into it, just wrap that hand behind the back. This knee wants to draw in, reach it out, and maybe the gaze goes up as the palm is reaching towards the back of the room. Draw that lower navel in. Relax the brow. Take 1 more breath. Inhale back to warrior two. Both arms are parallel. And exhale, straighten that leg. Those toes. Other side. Nice. Bend into that knee. Find your foundation before you move anything. Spin that front palm up. Reach forward. Create the space. And then up and back it goes. Drawing that right shoulder back. The navel in. Take 1 more breath. Inhaling back to warrior two. Exhale, straighten the leg, pick up those toes, quarter of a turn. Heel toe the feet into the center and walk it out a little bit. I know those ankles are saying hello. Roll them around a little bit. Give them just a little bit of break, a little love. All right. Grab those straps.
I'm already praising for him.
Oh, I heard you earlier.
Yeah, did you?
Oh, it was fabulous. Was it Thursday's class? Yes, Thursday's class. Drawing gentleman who comes. Young lady started coming as well. And we're doing the reclining leg stretches. Y'all have done them with me? That's the first time he's done them with me. He's back there. Oh, Jesus. We go into the sciatica twist, and she's, oh, Lord Jesus. I said, this is every yoga teacher's dream. We have 2 absolute. You fall asleep in Shavasana, or you call out for your maker in a class. then we know we're good. We know we're right where we want you to be. Okay? So you're going to use this strap. Bring it in front of you. Bring it out in front of you. Nice little loop. Take your right foot and step into it. Just step into the strap. Bend that knee, step into the strap. Right? And then lift. Bring the side parallel.
It's making me nervous.
That's all I want you.
Well, I'm also trying to balance on the toe that's still.
On the toe that's still healing.
Use the wall.
I made a face, didn't I? It just.
Yeah. You can lean on the wall.
That's what I did, and she didn't
No,
like it.
kind of like
She didn't
like
like
this.
it. I put my
Like
butt
this.
right up against
No,
it.
no,
She
no.
didn't
Like hold
like
it. Like I meant like.
At least try a little bit.
I mean, I was like, well, that's not what I meant. But
You all at home gotta know exactly what took place here. Dear friend of mine backs herself up
well, I mean, I told
right
her
to the
lean.
wall in its complete capacity and goes, okay.
Hey.
It's all right. It's your mat. She's gonna take that foot and put it out. Yep, I'm getting kids.
Strap in.
There we go. And one hand's maybe enough with the opposite hands on the hip or on the wall. There we have it. See, that's karma. That's what we call instant karma, the law of cause and effect. Right, but you start to notice, do you lean back a little bit? Yeah. So we want to get these shoulders right. So focus on the foot. Press down into the four corners of the standing foot and zip up that quad. And take 2 breaths. And don't look at your teeth, it's falling. And exhale to release. Because I let go of my own drishti. So drishti, right? The eye gaze. Where your eyes go, your body will follow.
Gonna go.
And Vicky was very intensely looking at me, and I'm like, and I'm just gonna look away, and my body went away with it. There we go. So we're going to the other side. And in front, left foot. I find it works really well if I put it right at the ball mount, but that's just me. I find the arch for some reason, so I get it right underneath the toes there. That big, lovely, fleshy part, I just find for me personally, that feels more secure than under the arch for some reason. But that's just for me. That's why I say that works for me. And then lift. And breathe.
I'm looking at her. I need to turn away.
Right? Stop looking at her. She's like, oh my God, I'm looking at Vicky and she's wobbling. Right? Where you look. The other thing is to notice if you look down, right, that's where your body's going to follow that center of gravity. So you want to at least be looking out at the horizon. Right? When you start to wobble, focus on the standing foot rather than the body. Right? Rather than the torso, really focus on pressing down through those four corners of the feet. And then release. Pedal it out. Oh. Well, okay, so drop it. Drop the strap. Let it go. Hands on the hips. You're going to do it now without a strap. She just totally okay.
It's fine.
I mean, the expression, everything, though, was like, fine. Oh.
At least I bring entertainment value.
I love, you know what, this is what I love. This is what I love. It's just, you know, because it's life. Right? So balance on the left foot. Find that. This begins to work, right? The balance for this standing head to knee. And you get a feel, really focus on your balancing foot and see where the weight goes. See where and how things shift. Because if you tend to lean more towards the pinky toe side of the foot, then you want to press back into the big toe mount. If you have collapsing ankles, you want to press more into that pinky toe side of the foot to find the balance. Next time we'll make you face each other. Like
No.
opposite.
I was looking at the
You-
mark on the door.
You broke the Wendy.
I was getting in the mood.
She was so focused, and then you said
It
it.
looks like a bird. I was like, oh, it looks like a dove.
And then you said, flip it to the other side, shift to the other side. Oh, I can't wait to do the next posture for balance. This is going to be great. Vicky, are you warm?
Yes.
Wendy, are you warm?
Yes, it's warm.
Okay, it is officially warm. Okay. She must have turned the air down. Breathe. Notice where your eyes are. Also notice your mouth. Where's your tongue? Relax it. Isn't that fascinating? You relax your tongue. So the hard palate is connected to the amygdala, the pineal gland, and all of these things. Yeah, that made it dark. Fire up. And so when the tongue is up there, there's no space, there's no lift. And release it. Wiggle it out. Roll it around. Hey, there they are. Oh, we're just having so much fun here tonight. I love it.
Snorter.
She's a snort.
She's channeling my mother.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of snorting the last couple of days too. It's been like, what's that about? I don't know. I'm happy. Having a good time. All right, so eagle posture. I always give a disclaimer at the beginning of eagle. It is my nemesis. I am claustrophobic. And the arms of the eagle posture are in the face and they compress the chest. And you will see me look away in order to get my arms where they need to be and come back. It's a process. It's a process. Right? We're going to start with the arms, so we're going to do this both ways. We're going to start at the top, we're going to start and set the arms first, and then the legs. And then the next time we're going to start with the legs and then the arms. And you will figure out which way is more stable for you. There's a couple of ways to do the arms. Take them out parallel to one another, palms up. Take your right elbow and stack it, cross the arms, stack them together. Now, broad chest, broad shoulders, tight scapula. You're going to grab opposite shoulders, and you're just going to lift those elbows up. Otherwise, you're going to bend the elbows, spin the hands in opposite directions away from each other. Bring the forearms close together. If it's accessible, wrap the hand. Yeah. So the eagle, right? But you can. There's this whole piece, right? And the shoulders in this get a little cattywampus. So we lift the elbows out and up. And then settle the higher shoulder, which is usually the elbow that's on top. So soften that one. It's going to take the hands and the arms and go. And then bring the elbows back into the chest. Now bend into those knees for chair. Get lots of options here. You're going to take this right thigh and cross it over the left. You might bring the toes right onto the floor outside of the left foot. Right? Bending into that left knee so you're sitting on your bar stool. Right? You can challenge your balance by lifting the toes. She's like, yeah, no. You can always come to a figure four as well, which I actually find more challenging than wrapping. Breath. As you inhale, stand up and unwind. And exhale. Breathe. That one's a lot. It is for me. So now we're going to start with the legs this time. Bend the knees. Cross the left thigh over the right. And so you want the knees to be stacked one on top of the other as much as possible. And then you find the arms, and this time the left elbow is on top. So maybe you're going to find the shoulders, or you're going to find that double wrap. If you find that double wrap, right, you've got to take that moment, because now you're in balance. You know you've got to lower that left shoulder. And then soften the elbows down, get them away from the ears, and breathe for 3. Breathe for 2. And inhale to unwind and reach up. And exhale. Is that yours or something?
It's mine. I'm totally sorry.
No worries.
I forgot to.
Oh, Wendy's just rocking out. Wendy's loving it. We got some dancing going on here. Alright, so we're going to eagle again. On the left, right. So you decide, are you going to start top or are you going to start bottom? It's entirely up to you how you get into your eagle, which works better for you. So go your way. Right, it always fascinates me to see which way it works for people. Yes. I'm sorry. I had to see which leg I had on top so I knew which elbow to be on top. She's done with us. Finding that balance point, and it does become more challenged, especially when you have the double wrap, because the drishti, the focal point, is now on your hands, on your arms. Take one more breath. And inhale to unwind it. And exhale. Last time, darlings. Find your ego on the other side. So there's a whole beautiful thing that eventually happens with the legs. Right? That foot, that top foot, eventually wraps behind the bottom calf. Maybe. Take one more breath. Inhale to unwind. That was not it. That was the least graceful eagle that has ever been on the planet.
I'm glad I was turned around.
I was like, my arms are over here, and my hips are over there, and I'm like, this is just not working. And that's what it is, balance, right? It was, there. There it was.
Kind of like that one.
You like the eagle.
Mm-hmm.
And it's warm, and yet it
It is
does
warm.
for me. It's like, I did not teach eagle for the first almost 2 years that I taught yoga. Because I couldn't, it was just such a thing. There's a philosophy, and I do agree with it in some ways, many ways. The posture that rubs you the most raw is the one you really need to work the most. Is the one that you really need to, so I put it in there every now and again. Love it. Put it in there. Turn and face the short side of your mat. One more balancing posture. Warrior 3. It's also called, in hot yoga, it's called balancing stick. So I want you to think about a stick. Pretty much they're straight, right? So thinking about the alignment, shoulders, hips, knees, and ankles. Even though we're going to move the body, and it's going to come a little wonky, it's going to come kind of out of that alignment. It's not, sort of. I'll show you what I mean. Hands on the hips. Take your left foot and step it about 18 inches forward, coming high to your right toes. Right, so right here, your shoulders and your hips and your standing leg are in alignment. What I'd like you to do now is just flex your right foot, taking the toes off the mat. Okay? You are in the balancing posture right there. That's warrior 3. This is it. If you'd like to go a little deeper, you start to take the torso forward and reach that leg back, keeping in mind you want this body on the same plane. So we don't want to get the head farther down than the heel lifts. So that's why I'm understanding. This is warrior 3. The minute you lift that foot, you are in the balancing posture. Eventually, it comes down into this capital T. Nice. And step the right foot to meet the left. Exhale. Now this time you're going to leave your right foot right where it is. Step your left foot back high to the toes. Shift the weight back into the right. Put a slight bend in that right knee. Right, press down. Find the 4 corners of the feet. Zip up the right quad and lift the left foot off the mat. Flexing that foot, because when the feet are flexed, it sends a message to the brain that says, I'm stable. When we point the toes, right, the brain has to work a little bit harder to go, wait, one foot's flexed, one foot's, and it just takes more. So we have that stability when we flex. Draw the navel in. Take one more breath. And bring the feet together. Beautiful. Take a breath. Nice. I hear mumbling. I hear it all.
It's these lights that's making it really hot in here.
Is it them?
Probably. Maybe we should put it on that wall. Oh, there's one.
And you know what? I had it over there the other night.
It is probably what it was.
I'm just not even going to play. I did have it over here a
Yes.
Thursday night. And you know what? It's fine. So, now, even if you're at home, you have a wall. You have the option of using the wall for this posture. You can use this wall in 2 ways. You can bring your hands to it, right, and walk it back, and you got to end up finding this to really find that fullest expression, or you can flip it and put your foot on it. She says, right, and so you get this feeling of it, right? And forward just feels more secure for me as well, right? But you see, you got to kind of wiggle it a little bit, but it allows you, it gives you that stability to really bring the torso, there you go, parallel. Nice. And just find the breath there. Now I am going to come over. You will holler at me if it's too much. So you see how this hip is lifted?
Yes.
Bring it down, square it off. There you go. That's going to stabilize the pelvis to allow for the balance. Breathe. Take one more breath. And inhale to stand and release. Give it a second. And you're going to find it on the other side. Nice. Well, I was going to try to work Miss Wendy's hip there, but she's got it perfectly squared. She's like, yeah, you're not touching me anymore.
Too many planks.
See? Yeah. Holy cow. Those hips are perfectly squared off and ready to go. Take 2 more breaths. Take 1 more breath. Inhaling, come away from the wall. And exhale. Inhale, take the hands overhead, palms touch. Exhale to the hearts. Inhale, take the hands up overhead. Exhale, sweep them big and wide beside the body. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, sweep the hands, big circle up. Exhale to the heart. Inhale, the hands come up overhead. And exhale, bring them around. Refinding Tadasana Mountain, standing for 3 breaths. Standing with purpose. Finding stability and balance. And making space. Take 1 more deep breath in. And slow breath out. And coming to sit on the mat. So we're going to find a seated posture, and it's up to you how you would like to sit. It can be cross-legged or legs straight out. Closing the eyes and focus on everything that's touching the earth. It may be the heels, it may be the calves, it's for sure going to be the booty, right? And then soften where you can soften. There are parts of the body that need to be engaged and a part of the alignment, a part of the uprightness, the pressing down. But there are parts that don't need to be. The shoulders can be soft, the mouth can be soft, the eyes can relax, the hands can soften, even the toes can let go. Back to the Ujjayi breath. We're going to do it exactly as we began it without putting the hand in front of the mouth. You're going to inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. One more like that. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. Transition it now in and out through the nose, compressing the throat. Find your normal breath. Notice the places where you were fully engaged and fully present. Notice the places where you weren't. Notice how you label that, how you decide that. Because the laughter and the wobble is fully engaged. And then release every bit of it. Let it all go. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It was. And that's it. When we label it and we place importance on it, it changes. All it was a moment in time. This beautiful season of movement, of change, of letting go, shows us how beautiful and how simple it can all be if we will just step back and let go. Hands coming into prayer at the hearts. Gentle bow of the head. Gratitude first to the self for taking time for your health, for taking time to reconnect with the source within. Extend that gratitude out to those who support you on your path, to those who consider your teachers and your guides, and always send it out to Source, to Creator. I wish for you peace. I hope for you joy. I offer you gratitude, and I send out to you my infinite